75%. 75% of people are terrified of public speaking. And you might be watching this right now saying, girl, that's me. But after today, I hope that you will have the foundations and the stepping stones to become part of the 25% that finds joy in being on stage. So, hey, y'all, I'm Carlisha Bradley. I am the founder and CEO of Amplify for Women. I'm a high performance women's leadership coach and social impact leader. I have led in several places from the classroom to the boardroom. I'm a former public school teacher who moved on to be an administrator, a superintendent, and I also served on the Oklahoma State Board of Education overseeing K 12 instruction for over 700,000 students in the state of Oklahoma. But really, what I'm most proud of in my social impact journey is that I founded Women Empowering Nations 15 years ago in an outdoor classroom in a small country called the Gambia. And that organization provides leadership development support, mentorship, and global awareness to young women to accelerate their path to social impact executive leadership. And to date, we have been blessed to be able to serve over 9,000 young women in 23 countries. So my heart is big for the social impact space. I am someone who deeply connects with impact driven leadership and being able to articulate that vision and move people to action. So when I started this series, Stepping into the Spotlight, I specifically wanted to call on my people. And those are founders, because I'm also a founder of a business, Amplify for Women, and social impact leaders, because there's something so unique in this space. When you are founding a business or when you're leading for a social cause, oftentimes we are just deeply committed to the work. We are the people who are going to come early, we will stay late. Our heart is in what we're doing. And many times when we're so deep into the work, we're always focused on the business that we're oftentimes finding ourselves saying things like, this is not about me. I want to get this out to the world. I want to get this innovation out to the communities that I want to support and I'm driven to serve. We find ourselves trying to step into the background when I'm going to push you in this conversation today, because we're going to talk about the secrets to building influence, to be remembered for your public speaking. And I'm just going to give you a quick spoiler alert. It doesn't have as much to do about your work as you think it would. All right, so let's buckle up. We're about to get ready to lock in. If you are a note taker, get something out to take notes. I encourage you to do so because gems will be dropped today. If you are just now joining this series, this is actually part 4. We had 3 parts last week. If you missed them, sign up at the link in my comments here or in the caption area. I'm not sure where we put it at, but sign up there so that you can get access to all of the recordings and the previous resources, because it's a sequential journey. You don't want to miss the other parts. You got to go back and catch that. But today, as I mentioned to you, we are diving into public speaking. It is by far my favorite topic. I have graced hundreds of stages internationally, all over the world, and I love public speaking. I find it to be electrifying to be in front of an audience, to share with the masses. Although, fun fact, I am an introvert. And so a lot of people are like, but you love public speaking? I absolutely do. I do. I get my energy from my alone time, but I give it all out on the stage. So for some of you, you might be like, Carlisha, I've been doing public speaking and something hasn't quite landed. You might still be a part of the 75%. You're terrified when you're speaking publicly. You want to switch over into the 25%. And when you're sitting in that fear, you've been just making some repetitive mistakes that you know it didn't land. It didn't feel good, but you're not quite sure what you need to change. So this might be you if you feel like, hey, I'm really prepared for a presentation because I have immaculate slides. Like they are done, they are beautiful. I got them all pretty in Canva and I have a lot of them. I have a lot of them to help me stay focused on where I'm going. Okay? Is that you? If I'm talking about you, if you're bold enough, put in the chat, that's me. Okay? Just drop that down there. Or you are someone who feels I'm prepared for my presentation. And when you're preparing, you fill it with a lot of other people's stories. So it's one thing to tell, journeys of your client or of your end user or of the people that your organization serves. But oftentimes, if you find yourself, your presentation is just front to back, other people's stories. So you might be, if you've been trying to solve this problem in that way, I'm going to push you a bit. And then the last one is, you feel really prepared for a speech because you are deeply committed to showing people how much you know. You have your stats and your facts and your data. You are numerically driven, which is great to reinforce points. But if that is what your presentation is solely based in, you're missing the mark. And I'm going to tell you why that's not working. So you can have the immaculate slide deck. It can be full of slides front to back with everything that you want to present, and it's going to help you trigger your memory. I know what y'all are doing. Or you could be the person who says, I'm going to tell these powerful stories of clients or of end users all the way through this. I'm going to share about the individuals whose lives are being changed. Okay. Or you might be someone who is like, I'm going to put all the stats, the facts, the data logically. I'm going to make sure that my audience knows how much I know. Well, the reason why these strategies alone are not working for you is because of this number one concept. I talked about it last week a bit, and we really dove into the personal aspect of leadership. Because if you don't do the self work, you can't show up on stage and present something that's not really there. But what people want is to connect with you. People want to connect with people, the person who's leading the organization, the person who's founded the business. People want to connect with you. And in connecting with you, they need to know you. They want to know more about who you are and what you stand for. Because of my third point, people invest in people and people invest in your values. So the reason why the ways that you've been presenting is not building influence and allowing for people to remember you, they're not remembering all the data you presented. They're not remembering how pretty your slide deck was that you spent hours creating in Canva, and they're not remembering all of the plethora of stories that you shared with them about clients and end users that all were kind of muddled together to take up the time and to take the focus off of you. They're not remembering these things because number one, people want to connect with you. And in connecting with you, number two, people want to know you. And number three, it's all because people invest in people and people invest in your values. So, what this looks like for you in going back and as you're preparing and you're getting ready to speak, it's some self work that you have to do as a leader, as the business owner, and especially as a social impact leader. You all are both two unique audiences that, as you're leading these organizations, you are constantly storytelling. You are constantly working to win over hearts and minds, to invest in what you're doing, and to be able to be called to action, to come along beside you, whether it's to volunteer, to recruit your team, to grow your work. Effective communication is essential. I oftentimes tell people, yes, I'm a high performance women's leadership coach, but really, I work at the intersection of public speaking, personal branding, and transformational leadership. They all are combined in getting you to your next level. And so here's some things that you should be doing instead. Instead of like spending those hours on the slide deck and instead of ensuring that the data is stacked all the way through, the counterintuitive thing that you should be thinking about is understanding number one, what you stand for and what that looks like in practice. So when we're getting into some foundational elements, and I'm going to tell you why understanding your values is essential. Understanding what that looks like in practice is critical for my next point. And if you need a resource for understanding your values and what that looks like in practice, go ahead and comment values in the chat, and my team will get that free resource over to you that helps leaders in articulating their values and their vision, which gets us into this second point. So, after you understand what you value and after you understand what that looks like in practice, you have to master your signature story. Again, y'all, people invest in people. People are investing in you and they want to know you. You also have to know you, and you have to know how to articulate your signature story. And this last piece of what you should be doing instead is knowing your audience. I mean, it's easy when we're so focused on the work that we think everybody wants to know all of these facets about what I'm doing. That I'm so excited about the innovation and the tech that we're leading. I'm so excited about the new ways that our social cause has rolled out these supports throughout communities. We're talking to people without connecting to our audience, which means understanding what components you allow for them to go with you on that journey, understanding where you're able to storytell and pick them up along the way. That is how you're building influence. That is how you're connecting. That is how people walk away after you've been on the stage and you're like, wow, I just feel like I know her. I feel so connected to her. You want for people to understand what you value from how you present, from what you're sharing, not just what your organization values. I talked about this last week, but a lot of us as leaders, especially those who are in this space of social impact or as founders, we have values for our work and our companies. And we believe that because those are the company's values, that since I'm a part of this, those are my values too. But you've never taken the time to think about personally and professionally what you value, what guides your decision making. How are you communicating this to team members, to stakeholders, to donors, to board members, to volunteers? Your communication and the conversation we're having right now. Yeah, I'm talking to you about public speaking, but public speaking is transferable into one on one conversations. It's transferable into you presenting in the boardroom. It's transferable to you being the keynote speaker in a sold out audience of thousands of individuals. Communication is at the heart of everything that you will do and the ways that you will accelerate and grow on your path. So I mentioned to you, understanding your values and what that looks like, knowing your signature story, being able to know and connect with your audience. And these are next steps that, many of us, we can get on Google, we can watch TikTok videos to try to help us piece together the strategies. But public speaking is something that is so personal. Connecting the storytelling and the framework for your specific audience, for the ways in which you speak, for the ways in which you share your work. One thing that I love to do in supporting leaders versus doing the guesswork or replicating someone else's journey is supporting them to find their own authentic voice and journey. I utilize a 4P framework and an MVP model that allows for me to support women in going through this process of mastering your mindset, master your message, voice your value, and to present with power. And all of this happens within our signature group program, the Elevate cohort. This is for women who are ambitious and driven. You're a hard worker, and that's no question about that. But you're also someone who's been so deep into the work that you oftentimes talk about that, but you're not sure how to talk about yourself. You probably froze when I said signature story. You want me to talk about me? This isn't about me. This is about the work. But yes, you have to get to the point to where you are elevating your personal brand, you're telling your personal story, you're articulating and weaving in your values and your why to not only go to the next level in your career, but also to influence people to action, to grow teams, to be a transformational leader, and to be a thought leader in your industry. Girl, you are knocking it out of the park. Like you should be on stages talking to people. You should be a part of the 25% that finds joy and passion in this space because you are a legacy builder. But you're also someone who might be saying, I just don't know when I would have time to invest in me and to take the time out to develop myself. And if that's you, I need you to go back to last week's video about how to say no. If you do not value your time, other people won't. The importance of being able to take this space because your organization and your business will only grow to the level in which you invest in you. Okay. So if you want more information about the Elevate cohort, you can DM me the word Elevate or drop it in the comments, and our team will get over some more information to you. You can also schedule a consultation call with me. Let's talk. Let's see what some of the challenges are that you're facing. But we are having applications open until the end of this month for the Elevate Summer cohort. So if you are interested and you need to learn more, now is the time to act on that. I can't wait to see you guys back tomorrow. This week is heavy on public speaking. We are talking about stepping into the spotlight for people who are ready to come from behind the scenes, and you know that it's necessary to go to that next level. You realize that something has been missing, but you want to know, what do I need to do? How do I get there? How do I overcome the fear to take that step? I'm walking you through it day by day in bite-sized pieces under 15 minutes in these morning sessions. So, tomorrow we're talking about the biggest myth and the most promising advice for a guaranteed increase in leadership and income generation. All right, see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, y'all.